What kind of mysterious, magical, amazing substance is this? I could run my hand right straight through the water anywhere. If I pour it, it just falls. And yet it can hold up a battleship. And more importantly, it can hold up me.
MascallDance is researching water stories and ancestral knowledge. Like water, our exploration flows across countries, disciplines, from science, performance, to our own bodies, to pretty much anywhere. Presented highlights mingle marine biology, eco-activism, dance, art, writing, and storytelling from Coast Salish, Métis, Ojibwe, Maori, Pakeha, and settler participants, guided by knowledge keepers. Water Teachings facilitator Aline Laflamme leads a gathering of many thoughts and stories. Here are a few of them.
It's a wonderful thing that we are here to connect with and honor and consider how to protect the water. And water is life, so it's how to protect life, and we are water. Which is the water that we are the least comfortable with? And for most of us, that's the water that comes right here, our tears. When I was sundancing one time down at Standoff, that's dry country, eh? And they have hot sweats there, big grandfathers, big hot sweats. And you know, you go 4 days and 4 nights without food and water. You sweat twice a day, huh? So that's very hard because you get dehydrated each time you sweat and you can't drink anything. And so in the middle of the night on the teepee, oh, it started to rain like crazy. I got my head outside and opened up my mouth, just trying to catch some drops. And to this day, some drops landed on my face. I didn't care about them. I wanted some water on my tongue. And I thought how crazy I looked, but I remember a fat drop that landed on my tongue, and I never forgotten it. And that was maybe it's 35 years ago. I remember that drop of water. So it's not a huge, big body of water. It was one drop, but I recall what a sweet blessing it was.
I was drawn to the way it danced in the shadows beside me.
I mean, no water, no life. That's basically it.
These environmental problems can't be solved without the support of the entire global community. And so we're working with a tightrope of both devastation and hope. So we have this massive aquatic environment, way bigger than land, that we don't think about and where our senses are less useful than we're used to. But stuff lives there. Most people go to the beach and they see the surface, and if they go underwater, it's just at the very surface. We don't focus on the fact that these places are the reason that we have air to breathe, a climate that we can live in, and life at all. Underwater, once you drop below 10 to 20 meters, it's pitch black. Vision just doesn't matter. Sound is everything. And sound acts very differently in water than in air. Sound can travel much further, hundreds and thousands of kilometers in some cases, so the space available to your awareness is just much bigger. We're continually making and sending more things around the world, and that shipping noise can drown out communication. The ocean is huge, and they're exposed. There's no safe home to hide in. Home is your group, and separating from your group can be disastrous. And this is a real concern, especially for strongly bonded individuals like mother and calf dolphins, where the calf is completely dependent on the mum for its survival. Every single separation is potentially life-threatening.
A little story about a hummingbird. It's a long-winded story, but basically, big forest fire. Everybody's running, the bears, the wolves, the raccoons, the skunks, the birds, everybody's running away from the fire. They all get away from the fire. They look up. There's their little relative, the hummingbird. She's going to the creek, getting a little drop. She's going close to the fire. She's dropping a drop. She's going back to the creek. She's getting a little drop. She's going back to the fire. She's dropping a little drop. The bear said to her, "What the heck do you think you're doing?" She turned around and looked at him. She said, "Well, I'm doing what I can. Help us to do what we can. Help us to do what we can in a good way. Masicho, all my relations."
I went and I jumped in the ocean, and I thanked it beforehand and thanked it afterwards, thought about what I was giving and what I was taking.
Lots is swirling around in my mind right now, but this whole vast city and this Metro Vancouver area was once all forest, and it wasn't that long ago that the forest floor was where water was absorbed and recycled in this endless water cycle. And over a short period of time, less than 100 years, we've lost all of that green space, and now we've covered it with impervious asphalt, concrete, even grasses that are very dense. Water has no place to go. The hot days are hotter and the wet days are wetter. So this shift has been affecting how cities are able to manage and contain and control water. Some of you will know the story of Still Creek, which is this incredible story that I think reflects our sense of the invisible becoming visible. The Still Creek is 14 kilometers long. It's mostly underground in Vancouver, and it's like many of the streams in our urban areas that have been paved over and forgotten. And it was an artist, Carmen Rosen, who founded the Still Moon Society, who was really responsible for getting the community to pay attention and to make the creek visible. At that time, she lived close to a ravine that was constantly littered and disregarded, and she created a lantern festival and many other arts engaged activities that really brought visibility to this creek. And people when they started to see it, they started to care about its possibilities. She made it visible, and to me that is an incredibly powerful form of leadership. They unearthed the creek. It's called daylighting for the ecological restoration people, and the habitat was restored, water quality was restored, and after years of work in 2012, the salmon returned. I started this project called the North Shore Rain Garden Project, which brought together engineers and landscapers and stream keepers and ecological restoration specialists and citizens in the community, gardeners that love to garden, who are really interested in how the humble rain garden could actually make a difference in an urban setting. One of the creeks, McKay Creek, was right next door to a big shopping mall. We know that parking lots are full of contaminants, and they sit on the surface, and as soon as it rains, they go pouring right into the storm drains and right into the creeks. And that is why we have so many contaminated creeks. You know that Joni Mitchell song about paving paradise to put up the parking lot? Well, we were de-paving a parking lot to try to build a paradise, and I think we did. You know, in our own little corner of this parking lot, we felt we were lucky. We started with 2 spots, we ended up with 3. And we took out the asphalt. You know, we had to be careful what was underneath, but we invited the community. We had a beautiful design. We worked with this wonderful artist, Igor Santino, who is a community engaged artist, and just that little corner of the parking lot protecting the water that was going right into McKay Creek. There are so many arguments, I would say, for the humble rain garden.
I went to a very precious place way up in the mountains where we did our fasting camps every year for how many years. And it was a very beautiful experience. And for me, I also felt, maybe in a way I never have, the fluidity of my own being. I felt the water of my own body. When you can, wherever you can, lie on top of the water and feel the water holding you. Feel the water holding you. Allow yourself to rest there in that relationship with the water.